Hi all, welcome to another Chess 24 Banter Blitz. It's a slightly earlier time than usual, 11:30 this morning. So let's see, we'll take the challenges from the start, and I'll probably need to mute over there. Okay, Fenneman. Hi, Fenneman. Okay, I'll kick off with e4 today in this first game. And this d4 I've been playing quite a bit. This is something I picked up from one of Shirov's games when he convincingly won the Lloyd's Bank Masters when he was about 18. He played this against GM Mark Hebden. This is the centre game, not centre counter, but centre game when you play it with white. So it does have an interesting feature that you can castle queenside here, and it might suit some of you if you want an attacking opening, which is different from the Roy Lopez. So this is the Roy Lopez is quite a beaten theoretical path. So this way of playing things, there might be options later for like putting the bishop on c3, pointing simply at g7. Another option here, maybe I don't mind that, that would strengthen the centre, this transaction here. So maybe knight f3, d4 and e5, that sort of thing. Or maybe knight f3, h4 and knight g5. Or knight f3 and e5. Yeah, there's a few plans. Maybe, okay, I'll just keep, the rooks are now connected. Okay, and maybe, in fact, well, there's a few ways of playing this. e5 might be a promising way. Okay. I wonder, e5 immediately? Doesn't look that convincing to me. Let's just put this knight back to c1, I think. Whoa, okay. Queen f2, I think. Actually, my knight might be able to go to d5, but then there's always bishop b7. I like that, because I'm thinking those could be weaknesses later to exploit. Oh, f5. Yeah, I think if I'm depriving the knight of a kind of career path, that's handy. Now this f file, there's also b5, but this f file looks very interesting. So let's see. I think taking on b5, I don't want to give too much any sort of counterplay, too much counterplay. I think knight d5. There's bishop b7 potentially. F takes and knight g5. There's bishop g5. There's queen f7. In fact, queen f8 would be mating there. Funny enough. If you imagine f takes, knight g5, bishop takes, queen f7, king h8, queen f8 in that position happens to be mating because of the awkward placement of the knight. So I think this is an exciting possibility that I'm going to go for. I wonder if he'll take with. Okay, so I can probably play this. Takes, queen f7, and queen f8. It's an exciting possibility. I wonder if he'll notice this. The possibility that it's sort of back row mate with the knight on g7. Check. And then I think there's a back row mate here with queen f8. Not queen takes because knight takes and the king's got g7. But here I think, I'm hoping, unless I'm giving away my queen, that this is a back row mate. Thanks for the game, Fenneman. That f file proved dangerous in that one. Okay, so Kaz. Hi, Kaz. Okay, so I'll play this knight c6. This I'm going to play it with a sort of transposition idea here of a kind of French defense with the bishop outside of the pawn chain. I think it's called the Wade system. If you play it like this, it was played by Robert Wade, I believe. So let's see. So the bishop's outside of the pawn chain, and then it's kind of like setting up a knight c6 French defense, basically. So that pawn's blocked by the knight on c6, but the bishop's outside the pawn chain here, and this could be an interesting position. There could be a nice light square grip. So something like bishop e7, knight e4. Okay. The one downside that's clear is I might have wanted to support the d5 pawn with c6, but there's other perks of having the knight on c6 potentially. Now here I can take and then knight d4. That's one perk. There's pressure on d4 here, which needs to be factored in. Actually, I covered on my own channel recently Magnus Carlsen Blitz game from the Norway, where he played a Dutch stone wall with a knight on c6, and he had pressure on d4. That is basically the big upside of you block your own pawn sometimes, but chess is so complex that there's always, you've got to look at the tiny little upsides as well of seemingly weird ideas. Knight c6 French has, I think, been boosted in popularity by Watson's Dangerous Weapons book in the French. So Watson did the original, classic book on the French defense, but I think he's extended it and talked about other sort of surprise weapons. So here, okay, c5. I think it might be interesting to threaten d4, but also I'm wondering about this d5 square here. How can I make use of that? Maybe this, and then bishop f6. Possibly b6. This looks like a very interesting position now to have. Let's see. Now this is a kind of loose piece here on b1, which I could target with queen f5 potentially. Now maybe in this position there's no point necessarily. Do I keep some tension? Do I move the knight? Interesting. Queen f5. I think I'm tempted just to keep things fairly simple with this queen centralization. I'm hoping this is enough, but my pawn mobility in the center here is also good, so I think I should be able to play something like c4, d3, which would support rook e2 later, but it also would support now e8 targeted. Maybe I can consider here rook e6 with the idea of later e5. I think I'll keep that rook safe with rook e6 for the moment. Maybe a6 and b5 to kick the queen back, so I can get e8 back. Another idea, my queen's pointing at f3. I've just realised that g5 with tempo may be useful for h5 and g4. If white tries to defend with queen b3 later, maybe I just double the pawns here. So there's a few ideas kicking around. So I think the one is a6 and b5 with the idea maybe of c4, but also to be able to play rook e8 without losing a rook. The other is this weird g5 and h5. I wonder how that could be. Maybe that can be easily parried though with g4. Okay. I'll go for maybe e5 and e4 at this point. In fact, this now means rook f8 is on the cards, looking at f3, and in a way that's not using any potentially double-edged pawn moves. Instead, I can look at f3 with rook f8 here, but I don't want to necessarily drop even a7. I don't want to burn any bridges on the queen side unnecessarily. So possibly a6 first, and then rook f8, and then bishop move. So I'm looking at f3. So I believe rook f8 is a natural move to celebrate that queen in the central position, looking at f3. Okay, now is there a tactic? I'm not sure there is yet. So I'm going to point at f3, starting to point at f3. Queen c7 could be a nuisance, I guess. Isn't bishop g5 with tempo? So bishop takes, queen takes. It's all with tempo. So I'm going to go for this. With tempo, looking at f3 and the bishop on d2 now. And also this is interrupting the connection between, on this diagonal, meaning the rook is hanging here potentially after check, check, and take here without the queen protecting the rook. I think this is very good news now, this position, in many respects. f3, d2 is hanging, the connection's blocked. Okay, thanks, Kaz. Thanks. Untouchable. I'll stick with knight c6. Okay. Let's take care. And on knight takes c6, I'm preparing. I usually play queen f6. So I'm looking at f2. And this is, I think, theory, actually, this position. I suspect something like queen d2 is played sometimes. I'm not sure exactly what White's meant to be doing in theory. But anyway, now this sort of position, knight f6, it just seems okay. Okay. Can I do this without getting mated? That's the question. If I can gain a tempo there, okay, knight e7 and castle. And maybe later b5, b4. So imagine king b1. Okay, slightly a concession on the dark squares there. So I think castling and the problem with b5, b4 is now knight a4. So I'm not sure that's entirely a fantastic idea, except he has neglected, my opponent could be he or she, but has neglected e4. Okay, protecting e4 there. Okay, I think I might play this anyway, just in case b4 is handy. Possibly, a2's hanging here. I think I will take that. Okay, now I can threaten actually mate in one with queen b2. Okay, the queen's hanging here, and then the knight's hanging, and then the pawn's hanging. But more significantly is rook d8 probably, because of the pin. Okay, I can take the bishop. The one thing to watch out for is being back row mated, so I'll actually put some air for my king. Okay, and okay, thanks for the game, Untouchable. Sebi. I'll play e3. I've been playing around with this recently, a kind of French defense in reverse, and I'm kind of reassured that against the Slav, they tend to play with this. Is he taking here? I'm interested if he's taking here. They tend to play this setup anyway, like this e3, d4 with the bishop closed in anyway. So I kind of get a standard popular setup at the Super GM level in a way. I think there's a temptation to get rid of this bishop. I've seen this idea before. And maybe play okay, let's have the double pawns. I think I will take and play bishop g2. And yeah, I think grabbing that light square bishop is of some interest. There might be an interest in bishop f4 now that this configuration. Is there a possibility of e5? Have I just walked into e5? Now let's see. Takes, take. I'm on the queen. Knight takes. I think I'm on the rook. Alright, yeah, that's probably why. There's e6 here. So I'm on the queen and I'm on the knight with check. So the key thing is that check, I think. And now it looks as though rook d1 or knight takes e4 here looks good. And this is a key check I'm missing. Well, I can grab that centre pawn when it's not protected. I know I really should think about castling rapidly, but there's other stuff to do here with advantage. Knight d6 check to stop my opponent, or rook d6. No. I can castle here, I believe, or I can play queen a3 just to get the queens off. I think just castling is probably okay. And this maybe knight d6 to follow. Now queen g3. The knight's holding the queen. I can evict the queen without losing the queen, I think, because of the knight on e4. Otherwise, this would be a nasty pin. I'm making use of a pinned pawn here, it seems, but I'm not actually because of the knight. Otherwise, queen takes would be winning the queen, which would be embarrassing. Okay, I can harass that queen with bishop f3. Is there any purpose in that? Maybe there is. And hold some pawns. Maybe queen g5. I think I'm gaining some space by harassing the queen. If the queen's fleeing, there might be the possibility of undoubling my pawns with f5. If the queen flees to a4, okay, I wonder here if I play queen g5, looking at the queen. And if queen a4, yeah, looking at the rook, I have to be careful about my pieces being loose or not loose on d1, e1 and everywhere else. But I'm just wondering if I can break through here maybe on the king side with f5. So queen a4, f5. I probably don't need to burn the bridges yet. I can probably play b4 here. Just in case, and keep f5 in reserve. Don't like burning bridges too much all the time. So what I mean by that is, these pawns could be handy in some endgame scenario. With a5, I think I might just take. Okay, so I think f5 is possible. I would hope f5 is possible rather. But what about rook? Rook e5. I'm wondering now. Knight g3? Maybe knight g3. Hitting. Got to be careful about things. The key thing is to try and reduce counterplay when you're up and try and keep things fairly simple. Mm. Mm. I wonder if I can play rook d7 for e7. Rook d7 kind of looks... I'm hoping it looks plausible. There's a check here, king g2, unless I'm getting mated on f2 or something. Rook e7... to simplify, to be able to play rook e8 check if the rook avoids somehow being exchanged off. Possibly. Okay, let's see. I'm curious what the next move is, really. Sometimes you don't want to start analysing too much until you actually see the move. And here, okay, can I take on c5? I'm worried about losing too many pawns, but then there is queen takes. All right, I'll take that. Okay, and then move here away from potential checks. Okay, f2's a problem. Can I simplify? Get the rook for the bishop. Right. And it's getting a bit dangerous. Maybe knight e4 to g5 would be dangerous for the black king because of queen h8. Just wondering if he gets to f2, I'm in trouble. Knight e4 to g5 though, that would be very good because actually the pawn's holding the knight, so queen check. I think this could be very good news. Knight g5 and queen h8. Yeah, I think he has to give up that. In which case, I get bishop d5 next, holding the light squares against checks. So queen g8 is... Right, thanks for the game, Sebi. So, Olaf. Again, I'll play this e3. So this is a 3-minute game. I'm going to install a knight quickly on e5. This is one of my ideas, actually, of e3, to be honest. My main inspirational idea is... Oh, there's a knight hanging there. Weakness of the last move. Thanks for the game, Olaf. 3 minutes is pretty deadly on the tactics. You've got to be watching out in blitz. Even in the Super GM Blitz at Norway, there's games just decided on weakness of the last move. I'll give you a concrete example of that. Giri played a move like bishop h6, and Magnus just tapped into the f6 square immediately with knight d5 to f6, just winning basically instantly, having a winning position instantly from what was a totally equal position. That is really something which even Super GMs, when they're playing Blitz, even with increment, 2-second increment, they can't track it because you get caught up in any sophisticated idea. I don't think there's any testing time in Blitz to validate any idea, basically. So your opponent can be just opportunistic and just pick out a fatal flaw in your last move. It might be seemingly total genius, but often there's a fatal flaw just to pick out. And it even happens, I've noticed, in the Norway Blitz between the Super GMs, because they're just human, right? And, you know, the longer time controls, they're validating a lot of the time, you know, to make sure... I mean, Magnus Carlsen, I think, has said in an interview, he's kind of usually knows the best move, and he's spending, like, his time verifying it. And he comes to the same conclusion after, usually, apparently. But I think lethal in blitz, obviously, but this weakness of the last bit, I think it's like one of the big things, one of the big themes for me, for winning blitz games. Just looking out for that. I guess it's sort of anti-creativity. The more you get caught up in sophisticated ideas, I think there's more room for obvious mistakes creeping in sometimes. Sometimes you're just hit by the obvious, basically. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, in blitz you can't really check the deep too deeply your moves. So let's see here. Can I play for some sort of hack attack with Queen C8? I guess he could play King H2. What I do like about this position... Oh, is he going to waste time with King H2 now? That's interesting. My queen's not very well placed, to be honest, on C8. He can just play King H2 here. I guess, right? And then what would I do with the queen on C8? And that would be a very good question. There's nothing to do with the queen on C8. Okay, King H2, maybe C6 is an idea for CD. No, I'm not sure. On King H2, maybe H6 for knight H7 is interesting. For F5, so the queen would support actually F5. I don't think a goal here is to play C6 and CD, because white has this space on the queen side, and essentially if I change the structure to be like that, white's just using that C file even more easily. At the moment there's some breaks on C5 with this bishop, but I really think I need to play on the king side here. Now the queen might be justifiable with knight H7 and F5 in some respect, but when playing this sort of plan, yeah, the E4 square could go into white's hands. Can I actually get some dark squares with this? I'm wondering. Without playing F5. Maybe even... okay, knight F5. I'm wondering, I have to start... Oh, knight E7. Okay, danger. I'll take that off. Then play knight G5. That gives me possibility of F3. I got to be a bit careful here, to say the least. I'm not sure about F3 actually. I think that pawn on F4 is vulnerable. Yeah, this is getting tricky. Well, I played it. I don't know about my pawn on F4. Can I play... Is it too radical to play G5? Takes. What about bishop? I can play bishop D4 for bishop E5 here. Possibly. Is that even... That's not even attacked now because of bishop E5. So in fact, I'll just do this to look at H4. If queen F4, bishop E5. If queen F6, there's always knight E4. If G5, there's always FG, bishop G6. Okay, can I do this now? With idea take, and that pawn's pinned, queen H4. King G2 unpinning. Probably I should consider taking. Yeah, I'll take that. And I don't know, if I play F6, I'm depriving my knight of any prospects. Knight F6, there's always G4, G5. So okay, I'm going to kill my own knight here, but I'm banking on the bishop being good enough. Can I play on the dark squares generally? I think I might have to take off a knight here and re-maneuver, because otherwise it's coming to e6. I have to maneuver my knight to e5. Give it some career path. I don't want the exchange there because it will just open up the bishop. A very good, quick, practical decision from the opponent. Maybe a4 is good, just to make sure my opponent's pawns are slightly... Oh, can I just take that before I get squished to death over here? Now I think there's rook h6 and queen takes g5. I think queen takes rook h6 check. I have to factor in queen takes h6. I don't think that's... So rook takes, queen takes g5. So if I can get away with rook h6... that would seal the pawns up. Okay. Let's take here and play queen f6. So I'm on f5 now, but this h file is potentially dangerous. I think I might be taking a risk here with the h file. Unfortunately, I don't want to take too much risk on the h file. Can I give myself the g5 square? Let's exchange off queens. Not there. Here for rook g8. That's h5. But his pawns are dangerous. That's funny. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's not so funny. What have I done? Oh, what have I done? What a moron. Okay. Yes. Yes. That wasn't clever. I've got to win on time here, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Yeah, well played, well played. I lost the plot. I lost the plot. I did. Okay. I did lose the plot, yeah. I thought I was having things under control, but the pawns were great. Okay, saved by the bell. I've got the bunny ears somewhere. I can bring them out, but I wasn't. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. My guilt level has gone up a few notches now. Oh dear. Okay. Oh man. So f5, f4. f5. One idea I sometimes have here is to try and get a grip on the dark square, so something like taking and g5. Now this is fraught with dangers. For example, bishop g5. I check bishop h6. Maybe I survive. Maybe I don't. But it's fraught with some dangers like that to bear in mind if you want to try this at home. Okay, e takes and g5. But generally, if you can get tempo, and then f4 you get the dark squares, you get the bishop liberated, you get e5, you sometimes get d4. So there's a lot to gain positionally from e takes g5 potentially if you don't get mated, which is likely. Okay, because creating weaknesses is a double-edged thing to do, meaning you could really hurt yourself. Okay, so e takes, bishop takes. Let's have a look. g5, bishop takes, hg, queen h5, bishop h6. For a start, no, knight f3. Maybe I can cover that with knight g6. All right, he's taken that. Okay, in this case, I'm just gonna. There's bishop c5. I don't particularly want bishop c5. Actually, so f4 without bishop c5. Okay. Can I do this? Okay. Okay. This has been pretty forcing by my opponent, but not necessarily forcing moves are always wonderful. I got to be careful about f4, bishop e4, and queen g6. Queen d7 might be better because bishop e4 and queen is not entirely appetizing. Hang on, has he got rook f5? Rook f5, queen takes d5. I'm just wondering about bishop e4 tactically. Yeah, because if I was forced to play rook takes, then bishop e4, I can imagine. I can play for. I think if I play this, I can play knight d8 to hold the bishop without the rooks being awkwardly disconnected from each other. There's knight g5 coming now. Oh, can I do anything about that? Maybe knight d8 holds f7. Maybe. I didn't see that. I have to take, check, bishop h6, bishop takes, queen at h7. It's not appetizing, but on the other hand, I can't really see too many options here. Beggars can't be choosers, as they say. Maybe I should, if I can take the queens off, maybe I should, because just wondering about bishop f6 coming. If bishop g5 or bishop d8, rook g6, bishop d8, bishop d5. Again, I haven't got too many options. Yeah, I haven't got too many options. Bishop takes bishop d5, okay. Double the pawns here. And blockade. Right. on, should I take with the rook? Can I take that? I wonder. Hang on. Was that? I was going into another trap or something. I'm running out of time as well. I don't see anything to do here. 26 seconds, running out of time. Unless there's some sort of perpetual check, I doubt it, but I've got to move if I don't want to run out of time. Nice, mate. That was really well played. Wow. Okay, really well played, yeah. Okay, Azure Mist. Okay. Bit gutting, I suppose. Okay, Bishop. Game on, another game. New day. Alright, so Bishop G5 and Knight D5 later. Bishop G5 and Knight D5 is kind of the thing I like to play in this sort of position quite often. Let's see. Maybe I should have played Knight D5. Yeah, I would have played Knight D5 usually. I don't know what I'm doing there. Why don't I just do that? Okay, try and wake up. So Queen E2 is letting me open the position a bit. So, okay, Bishop G5 and Rook D1. Or Rook D1, Knight D4. Okay, so I play Knight D4. I'll get back to this. Maybe can I do this? Alright, coffee and porridge here. I'm not convinced by my setup so far. I mean, I should have played Knight D5 like I usually do. Oh well. Maybe this. I'm hoping I'm not getting mate or anything. There's Bishop G2. There's Knight F4 winning an exchange. Oh, this is clever. Okay, I get a tempo here. But there's still knight f4 on the cards. I'm playing knight e2. Oh, this is ridiculous. Okay, h6, knight e2. Queen c6, rook g3. And be very careful. Knight d4 for knight e6 for rook e6 for the discovered attack. So knight d4 for knight e6. As always, there's bishop e6, queen e6. Otherwise, there'll be queen g6. But I'll be threatening rook e6 here. Or knight e6. Knight e6. I think this wasn't entirely. I'm not sure about this because of knight e6 here. Or rook e6. Or in fact, bishop c2 sometimes. If we look at knight e6, rook e8, there's knight g5 check there. Yeah. I think, yeah. Hope. To undermine g6 here. Rook e8, knight g5, king g8, bishop f7. Knight g5, king h8, knight f7. Alright. So that normally a self pin is pretty bad, but in this case, knight g5, king moves, rook d1 is possible. With a key tempo again. Or bishop f7 here. First, just take the rook. Actually, if takes this with check again. There's knight f7 winning the queen. Yeah, I think I had a worse position. That, and he's beaten me 3 times before. So dangerous opponent. I was lucky there. Dangerous opponent. Okay, Sekiro. I think I should have stuck with my knight d5 business when I get the chance for knight d5 in there. I'll try this little system, this Wade system. I don't know why I'm pre-moving that. Just in case. He's not going to play that, is he? Maybe this sort of light square play. A4 might be handy here. Or d takes, just on d4, that loses a pawn. Okay, I better not spend ages and ages. Try and hold d5. Can I get to play c6? I didn't want to play knight d7, so I'm thinking you could just take and take. So if I can get to play c6, maybe that's okay. Maybe. I know it looks strange to put a knight on e8, but if I can play c6, And then maybe a4. Okay, this looks okay. And then a4. And then AB, queen a5. And there's also bishop b4. If I have queen and bishop there, okay. If he plays with f5, there's bishop h5, he can play with h3. In the meantime, so this f5 is a pain. I could take on e4. Or the check in queen f2 is rook f1. Like bishop b4, f5 check, king h1, queen f2. There's bishop h5. Yeah, this looks interesting for queen b6, queen f2, and bishop h5 to f5. In some respect, he's always got c5 though. Yeah, maybe this was a big mistake. He's got f5 and h3 then. With queen b6, he's got c5. I might also have rook a2 and queen a5, those alternatives. So the check here he's letting me because there's no c5, right? And if I took on e4, is that the end of the world if I just take on e4 then? Because I don't know about this f5 business. I know I'm undoubling his pawns, but is f5 my bishop's kind of almost trapped? I think I've got to improve this knight. Pre-moving that. If f5, maybe I take and then knight e6 after. Okay. If I took here, isn't there rook a2 potentially? Or is he getting around my king with knight g5? Could be dangerous. I don't know about my back row is a bit vulnerable. Maybe there's knight a6 holding d8. On rook d1, so takes rook d1. I'm thinking knight a6. I think that's I'm hoping this is okay. Why would I think this is okay? Interesting. There's rook d3. Let's not lose the pawns too quickly. I was more worried about rook d3 just then. If I have my king here on e7, it's nice to have a rook on the 7th, but there's other stuff going on. b5. I'm just asking to be mated here, aren't I? Nearly. Check, check, king d7. You can go for f7. F6. My king really wants to... Can I play this? Go into the position. I think my king wants to adventure over here. I'm going to go down to f3 from here. The king's an attacking piece. Potentially. He's got the check there. He's got the check there. Okay, so king c5. Let him have that pawn as well. This is going to get dangerous. There's knight c7. That's not working out. Ugh, there's knight c7. Well, I'll change of plan here. I'm holding the knight, so maybe rook. Just unpin for a moment. Knight c5. Maybe I should have gone to e2. Knight c5. This pawn could be dangerous. I was going to play rook e5. Okay, I can take this guy. There's rook d6. And my king can... No, I can't reach that pawn. Yeah. This one in king d6 or king d7. Yeah. Not king d7, not king d6. Hold on a sec. I'm going to run out of time. I've gone, it's gone. The pawn's queening. I've messed this up. There's no way of stopping his pawn. Basically. I'm not doing too well today. Oh, okay. Played. Oh boy. Well played. Ooh. That was difficult. I thought I could potentially stop the pawn, but nope, apparently not. If we go back here. Let's go back here, and then maybe e5. Okay. Bishop g7 and queen e7. Oh, like this. Hang on, queen takes. Is that threatening? Oh yeah, there's okay. Better castle. I think it's threatening takes and then knight c7. I'm not sure this is that significant here because my rook's protecting that one. I'll do this. And kick this guy. It should be okay, surely. It's Queen D5 to factor in. Okay, get the king off. This diagonal is nice. I'm heading for a rook a8 disaster. Where rook takes and queen d5. Okay, so it doesn't look right to do this, but tactically. Okay. If he takes rook b8. Is he taking that? I suppose he's winning that pawn. G4. G4 and then bishop G5. This might be G3 here, just to weaken the dark squares. It's a check and rook H8 maybe. King G6 and rook H2 for rook H7. Or this one. So I'm threatening rook H2. Now I'm threatening rook F1 to win the queen. Or it's actually just mate. Yeah, this dark square counterplay. Thank you for encouraging me a bit today. Oh, now there's a mighty opponent coming up. Yeah, I like the 3 minute as well. It's nice to have a mixed bag of time limits. 3 minute fast and furious. So endless nightmare. Is that a sadistic nickname to have on the site? Endless nightmare. Knight c3 and queen b3, or as long as I avoid some disaster like last week using the h pawn, I'll try and keep sensible for a moment. Just h3 is more modest, and just try and keep the stable center going for a bit. So rook c1 and knight d5. Okay, so castle, rook c1. I wonder what the point of the queen on c7 here in particular is. In fact, I'm wondering here, knight e5, knight c6, f4 is too weakening. Let's just keep sensible for a moment. Rook c1 threatens knight d5. Knight e5. Knight d5 is frantic. Wait, where does the queen go? Where does the queen go? Come on, Venk. Okay, I can still harass the queen now with knight c4. There might even be the b6 square at this rate. Knight c4 and d5 for knight b6 or bishop b6. Bishop b6 trying to trap the queen. In some lines, knight c4 is probably pointless actually. What about f4 here? Takes, knight moves. I think this has got a thing going for it. It depends really on his next move. I don't know what to analyse. I need to know his exact next move to start analysing concretely. In my view, it helps sometimes. Like here, I'm wondering g4, g5, knight takes, g takes. I don't know, is this naughty? I'm moving pawns around my king. This is usually a very naughty thing you don't want to try at home. But in this particular scenario, g5, knight takes, pawn takes. He's got two pieces attacked. Unless he's got a major counter-attack there. That's winning a piece. g5. Alright, I can take and then double the pawns, which also gives queen b3. But in particular, g5 here, knight takes, pawn takes. I can't see what he's doing there. The knight's hanging. Knight d5. Maybe he had knight d5. Knight c4, fg hits the rook. Queen b3, I'm a knight up. Queen e2, I'm still a knight up. I can take on e6 and take on f1. Thanks for the game, Endless Nightmare. You guys are cheering me up now, but now I've got the mighty shelling forward. Okay. Is it going to be my day in shelling forward? Now I know I'm somewhere else that regularly plays this. This system, I usually expect bishop b5 and knight a3 as a dance, knight a5 to stop knight c4. Well, given he's not doing that, I'll stop bishop b5. Okay, usually bishop b5 is the plan. Okay. B6 and bishop b7. I don't know, does that look okay? B6, bishop b7. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. I gotta really focus here. This guy's really dangerous. I gotta really focus. D5, knight b4, a3, the knight's trapped, right? In which case, it might be better to play. seem to be back now. I don't know why that happens. Sorry about that. I think I imagine I've lost this game because I got disconnected. Lost about 10 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. It's good I played him actually to be disconnected rather than someone much lower rated. I don't know why it's less stable. It's BT I'm with, and they're not entirely stable. So I'm going to bolt on an extra 10 minutes of penalty time. Yeah, 10 minutes added due to timeout connection issue. Right. So I'll go to 1:10 p.m. Aim for 1:10 p.m. Yeah. Should I play the system? Maybe not. He's pretty good from this. I know he's pretty good from this position. I don't know if I want to do anything too radical. In fact, I'll stop bishop g5. That's a better use of that h-pawn to stop bishop g5 here. Try and keep a sill on d4. I think it means I can kick with c6. I don't know if that actually gets me anything whatsoever, but it's an idea just to kick the knight. It's an annoying knight. Knight takes, queen takes after. Mind you, I've got my own annoying knight. I haven't been structurally compromised. Maybe there's knight f3 if he's not careful. Had some very interesting games with Augusto. So taking d3, I don't know if that's worth it. Maybe I'll prepare for b5. Try and achieve the same sort of effect without any burning bridges, just to try and weaken the structure and open the bishop. But it's giving me e5 here. Okay, is b5... Oh, there's knight h5. I don't want knight h5 and f6 in a hurry. Maybe queen e5, knight h5, f6 is more palatable. If f6... I wonder if I can just take it. So what I'm really wondering about here is... Oh, hang on. If he plays knight h5, he's threatening f6. If I play f6, he just goes back to threaten knight g6. This could be annoying. Alright, let's do this for a moment. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what king h2 is about generally. Maybe it was just to protect g3. He wants to play knight h5 and stuff. I don't want to give up the d5 square in a hurry. What about this diagonal? Any mileage in this diagonal? Bishop b8 and d5. f6 g5. This might be interesting. Maybe I protect my h6. Maybe. f6, I just take the knight. What am I talking about? I just take that knight. That's a bit of good news there. The queen is not so badly placed, I think, on e5. He could play queen f4. I'm not sure I've got to be careful about d5 because of this e-file. It's kind of shielded at the moment. If I ever play d5, he can like take and use the e-file. f6 is always knight f4 to g6. Can I use? Okay, as though this might be a threat hanging over him. Then rook a8. Now f6 is always queen h5 anyway. I just don't want to weaken g6 in a hurry with f6 because knight f4 simply. Oh, he's going for a sort of hack attack. Can I play g5 in this position? If he takes, queen takes, rook f7, take. How dangerous is that? I don't want to do anything too radical. It's getting a bit scary. Either way. Bishop d8 just to stop this business. Stop rook h4 and threaten bishop g5. That might be a good find defensively. So f6 queen takes. Rook g4. Yeah. I guess g6 is out of the question, right? Because he takes and he's on my rook. If I played bishop f6, what about try and keep things just... I hope I'm not getting hacked. I just think taking, he was on my rook. The rooks are now connected. At least there's no rook h4. I'll take with the queen. Because if I take with the pawn rook here, it looks as though I've got a backward pawn here on the a file. If I can survive the attack, there might be some mileage in the a file. Okay, I don't want to give him f6 under any circumstance. In fact, there's rook g6. Alright, let's think. Rook g6. I'll step away from that because I've got a pin on the rook. If it's not check, it's a pin, then I can just take without this being check. Can I get rid of this bishop, I hope, without getting mated? Now, I can use that pin. Okay, I need a move here to avoid getting mated. Quick. Oh no, what have I done? Is there g6? Oof. I don't like being on the defensive like that. I don't know. There might have been a way to break through. I'm just relieved. I'm so okay, guys. Very funny. Okay, I have to take this challenge then. I guess very funny. 2664. It's beat up a stream a day, clearly, isn't it? Okay. Okay. I'm not convinced by my opening so far. Maybe there's something going for it if I can get a knight to f5. Oh, that's a little bit provocative, surely, because I can use that to peel open, I hope, something over there. Or not. Why have I just played that anyway? I think what I did was a bit dumb just then. Oh well, I think it was more accurate just to double the rooks. Okay, I thought it might be like taking a risk there with this G file. But I guess he's just winning pawns, I guess. Put a knight on f5. It's probably worth me ignoring that. There might be 1, 2, 3 is on my king. Not entirely fatally, because okay, 1, 2. I'm on his king in 2. If he took Queen G4, it looks dangerous to me. How dangerous though? He's played this rather strangely, surely. So if I take the queen, there's also knight d6 after. Knight d4, there's f5, and that sort of screws everything up. Doesn't it? I think it does. So I should probably take the queen. What about just knight takes h6 for fun? Or knight d6, double check, taking the rook. This can't be entirely bad, surely. Yes, 24 rating points. I'm actually gaining out of you guys today. I'm gaining. I'm not happy or anything. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Some of you guys are really cheering me up today. I can take today overall now. I can take the ups with the downs. Oh boy. Thank you. Sorry, I shouldn't be excited. But yeah, I'm just you know, okay. I'm just a club player. Okay, I'm just a club player having fun on these streams. I'm not a GM. Yeah, let's say that. It was not brilliant play by me. That was not brilliant play. I do not think that was brilliant play. I sort of stuff I just do for fun anyway. Just try and, you know, open up the lines against the king. You know, king's crushing business. Though it was. Thank you, Mick. But it wasn't. It was one of my higher rated scalps though on these streams. Yeah, thanks. Okay. I won't be crying for the rest of the week. It means necessarily. Thank you. For those that gave me a chance, thank you. So there's 10-minute penalty time because I had a disconnection up. I think I should give at least 10 minutes for that disconnection thing, which I don't know, BT's playing up at the moment and it's not that stable. So hopefully it lasts another 10 minutes without a connection failure. And my recommendation film of the week, I saw Wonder Woman last night. It's an absolutely brilliant film. 8.2 on IMDb. So she's very courageous, brilliant Wonder Woman. Check it out if you go to the cinema or something. And I've been answering questions on Quora in the last couple of weeks. If you want to check out Trifon Gabriel on Quora, I'm currently the rank 3rd most viewed on Quora. I'm really pleased with that because I like writing stuff as well, actually. About chess generally, so it's nice to be able to comment on chess at Quora. I don't know if any of you have heard of Quora, Quora. If you want to check out the chess on Quora, and if you've got any questions, stick them to me or anyone else. It's an interesting resource for finding stuff out. Can I play check Knight G5 and Queen H5? Yeah, I'm giving a 10-minute penalty thing extension. My fault. I'm hoping not to clash with any Norway coverage. Norway's pretty excellent at the moment. The last round was a bloodbath, wasn't it, of decisive games. Everyone thought it might just be 1 or 2. I think there were actually 3 wins in the last round. So it was a bloodbath, relatively speaking. So that's really exploded. But that's even before I checked out some of the brilliant Blitz games. Magnus Carlsen won the Blitz section, 3-minute with 2-second increment. Double check. And then I think Queen H5 is dangerous after. And then, yeah, thanks. So there's great stuff going on at the moment. Oh, another mighty challenge. This isn't just a relaxing last 10 minutes. An FM. Now, I'm not necessarily totally terrified of higher title players. I mean, I did beat like 3 AMs on Friday in another stream somewhere. Sometimes I can play them. Sometimes I can just lose horribly. A lot depends on the opening, actually. This is a 3-minute time control, which sometimes I'm more confident on the 3-minute, especially if the connection's okay. I'm still connected, right? Hello? I'm still connected, am I? Oh, I really wanted this game. I did want this game. It was very interesting to play a 3-minute. Tex-Mex is the name of some sort of restaurant, isn't it? Tex-Mex. Oh, I wanted to play that game. Okay, I'm going to have to abort this. I believe I probably should abort this, right? Yeah? Well, let's go on to the next challenge. And, okay. This might be the last game, so I hope you enjoyed today. Let me have your vote. You know, 1 fun, 10 boring. I think this is the last game, really, of the session. I'm assuming this will last, like, at least 6 minutes, this game. So, if you want to vote, you know, 1 fun, 10 boring, that'd be cool. I sometimes do this little informal voting business when I'm streaming, sometimes on Twitch. I ask. I hope you found it interesting today. There was some dark moments for me, and I was thinking, oh, what a bunny I am. Which, I don't know. Oh well, sometimes, you know, you just gotta like keep being somewhat optimistic, because a new game is like a new day, right? And a new opening and a new way of screwing up a position if you're winning, etc. Or a new way of getting murdered. Okay. So, okay, so, what's happening here? E4? Is E4 any good? HG and then, okay, I'm going to try and tease C5. Teasing C5 here to be, if he wants to take this pawn. Nope, he does not. Okay, I didn't expect that necessarily. If I could just swing this knight into C5. Or, let's see, C6, tempo gain. Open up the C file here. I should really castle to connect the rooks. Safety point. Don't try that at home. Good to castle, connect the rooks as a matter of routine. So C6 takes. Maybe there's D5 later, stretching out the bishop on that diagonal, which is a bit weakened on the dark squares already. And stopping that. Okay, can I swing this to C5? Or am I getting into deep water here in some other way? If he gives up that bishop, I can't win A5. And I can't even play C6 here. I can play rook A6 to support C6 without losing C6. I don't think he's got D6 necessarily. This does give me the idea of bishop C7 simply. The pawn's been split, should be harder to defend. So bishop C7 looks a little bit tasty. He's got a castle surely now. Get a pawn back, and then I wonder, bishop B4, there's always knight C2. So what about just playing E4? If I get the chance. So rook D8. And he's got queen E4, naughty blockade. I wanted to be able to play bishop C7 and E4. He's ruining my dreams. My dreams are getting ruined here for the position. Okay. I have to dream up some new dreams here. What do I want to do in this position now? Don't tell me there's f4. There's f4. This is getting dangerous, to say the least, in some respects. In other respects, I'm wondering about the dark squares. My position seems solid enough for a moment. How about bishop b4? I'm threatening rook a4 there. Now if knight c2, is it worth playing bishop c3 with tempo? Does that give me anything? I think I've got to have my pieces protecting each other a bit more. Oh, g5 might be dangerous. g6, rook h4, bishop g7. I could take on a4, he takes on c6. I could play rook a2. I'm not dropping a rook or anything. Probably he's taking one of my double pawns. Knight f3 looks nasty, essentially. Is it nasty enough for me to give up my dark square bishop? Okay, I'm going to take it here. In some respects, knight f3, but hold on. Haven't I got like rook takes c4 here? If I'm being greedy, am I going to get punished for that? Now, if he ever took, actually, I'm on e3 there. Let's see. So what is actually happening now? I didn't mind too much him taking my double pawn away. Forcing moves in this position. Bishop d7 gives me queen e3, which kind of wins the rook on f4 in this position. So I think this forcing move is pretty handy with tempo. So queen e3 and rook f4. This could be a key downside of his position, this e3 pawn here with check. My bishop's hanging, of course, but it doesn't matter necessarily. Rook takes f4 is lucrative. So rook takes the... Oh, it's check. I can take with check. So I can save that bishop. I can play this with check, and play that with check, and I can play bishop e6 after. I can play bishop e6 here, holding f7. The wrath of the rook and the queen on f7 might not be winning. Okay, so I could consider rook c1 here. That might be a stronger move than queen d4. It might be a weaker one because knight f3. So, okay, why not just the obvious queen takes d4? It's worth sometimes considering. Okay, let's keep the pieces protecting each other generally. And now this for rook g3 and take out this bishop. I think for bishop d5, I want to take out the bishop. Just to give me bishop d5. That guardian of, not the galaxy, but the king's safety here. So, Guardians of the Galaxy is another good film. Let's see. pass pawn, rook d2, then c2 and rook d1. Whoa, okay. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week, and okay, I had a good time. Hope you did. Okay, thanks. Yeah, all right. Likes appreciated on the videos, and have a good week. Thanks very much. See you next week. Cheers then.